Hi, do Tara Hillary. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I just had a call from Jody, like literally just now. I was just trying to return the call.
Okay, yeah, I can look into all for you. Just to get some details, just to get your account up. Can I start off by taking your name, please?
Yep, it's Patrice Camuyu, but you're probably not going to be able to find the account because they don't know what they're doing.
Well, I'll take your postcode, please.
NG2 1QF,
Okay, just confirm your first line of your address, please.
29 Saffron Gardens,
And finally, can you confirm your contact number for me as well, please?
073 686 19542.
Okay, that's great. Let's have a look. So you said a missed call from Manal, you say, sorry?
Yeah, she just rang about 2 seconds ago.
Okay, let's have a look. Just going to put you on so I can try and find out what's happening. You might talk to me one moment.
Well, someone is supposed to be coming out again to remeasure again because the person who did it wrote the wrong address and didn't do the application correct.
Welcome. Yeah, so I'm going to put you on hold so I can try and get hold of Jodie because I can see obviously what she's trying to discuss with you on the call. So you just give me one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Kim, you.
Hello.
Thank you for. I'm sorry about that. So Jodie just advised me that she's sending an email over to you in writing, so she
Yeah,
can
I
obviously
don't want
confirm
an
everything.
email. I want to speak to Jodie because I've been ringing since the 22nd now. I'm fed up with going back and forth by emails. It doesn't even make sense. I'm on the phone.
Well, I can try and get hold of her again for you. Just bear with me one moment.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's Jodie.
Right, so the last person that I spoke to said someone was supposed to be coming back out. I've just heard your voicemail and I'm just confused as what's actually happening.
So you're having your design consultant come back out to be able to put forward for another agreement because the details on your finance agreement doesn't match what we have on our system when it comes to your address. So we need to have the correct address put through on the agreement. That's why we can't hand it over to Navuna. Though
But
they
the
do have an
address
address
is
and they have an
correct.
agreement passed through,
This is what I'm trying to
it doesn't
say.
match though. So you've advised of a different address was given on the agreement. That doesn't match to the address that's on the account.
That's not what happened at all. The account was set up by myself. I was purchasing the blinds. When the soft credit search was done, as I am self employed, it declined. So my husband said that he would do the soft search, which it went through. At that point, he gave his address as well as his name, and it was all sorted on the 6th of December within minutes of each other. Then the
Yes, we
fitter,
can't pass it
hold
over
on.
under 6
Then
Randy
the
Walk.
fitter brought to our attention that the addresses was different, and he came back. He actually came back because he came twice to do the measuring up and changed the address. So this is where what did he come back for? Like, he literally rang. I wasn't at home, I was at work, and mentioned the addresses being different because realistically, which I've been saying all along, when all of the information was written out and it said Patrice Camuyo and my husband signed it, the name should have changed. So
Yes,
I
so
don't understand if it didn't go through at this address
we
and he's
can't
come
change the
back and
name on our
changed the
account.
address. Well, no, but he
We
came
can't
back
change
out
the
and
name on our
changed it.
account. If you could let me finish. He's changed the address on the finance agreement to 6 Randy Walk. On your account, it is not 6 Randy Walk, it's 29 Saffron Gardens.
Because that's
The
where the
address on the
blinds
account,
are.
so where the blinds are needs to be the address that's also on the finance agreement. Without it matching, we can't hand that over to Navuna.
But he came back and changed it. This is what I'm trying to say.
He hasn't changed it because on your, like I say, it's been confirmed by them. It is not 29 Saffron Gardens on that finance agreement.
It wouldn't be because this is my address. And this is what I'm trying to
Yes,
say.
that's what it needs to be. It needs to match what is on the account on our system, which is 29 Saffron Gardens.
Right, so whose fault is this? That's what I want to know.
So it's not a case of that it's at fault. It's a case of that we need to change the finance agreement if you want it to proceed forward.
But why would you do a finance agreement and lie about where you live? Basically, that's fraud.
We've not lied about it.
No,
You've
you want
advised
him
that
to
you
put
didn't
my
pass your credit
address
check.
instead of his address
So
because the address matches the card and matches the person who's doing the credit search.
That's what's required by Navuna. They need both addresses
I understand.
to match.
I've spoken to
If they
Navuna
don't
plenty.
match,
I've spoken to
if they don't
Navuna.
match, we can't hand it over.
Okay. So when I first was trying to get to the bottom of why this account is miraculously gone up in air, because obviously I've got a contract, pre-contract, post-contract signed from Navuna. No one could allocate or locate why these accounts weren't linked or whatever. And I asked about the address, and Navuna's words was it wouldn't matter. It's to do with the account not being live because Hillary's hasn't created this
And
payment. All of a sudden,
we can't send it without the accounts matching.
But why did the man come back out? That's what I don't get.
So he would have came back out because he had to reset it up because you had a failed soft search. When it was
No.
we
We didn't have a failed soft search. I just told you it was done within minutes apart on the same day. He came back after the 6th of December and he changed it to Ramby Walk because he said it needs to match the card. This is what I'm saying. It was set up. Patrice Camuyo, 29 Saffron Gardens. That was the setup. As it didn't go through,
what we're advising
we
to you
said
is
we'll do it in my husband's name.
We can't
You're not
pass it over without the
understanding.
account
What you're
matching.
trying to do is what it originally was. The fitter said it has to be his address where his card is registered. So the fitter came and changed it to 6 Ramby Walk, bearing in mind he doesn't live at 29 Saffron Gardens.
The fitter can't change your
Right,
finance
well,
agreement.
I think you should speak to the fitter because I've spoke to him. Because when all this went tits up, I spoke to him. What names and what addresses are you giving?
We're going to advise you in writing. What we need to do is we need to have them come back out and get the finance
And I said
reset
yes
up.
to that. I agreed to that. But what I'm trying to explain to you is what you're changing it to is what the application was. Because the fact that my name is still on there and my phone number and my email address, bearing in mind it's under Franklin Hall now, my address was still there. The fitter said you can't use that address. You need to use the address of the card. And he came out and took the 6 Ramby Walk address and done exactly the opposite of what you're trying to do now.
To you is we've spoken to our Navuna Queries team who can see your finance agreement. They've advised that both addresses are not matching. They need to match to be able to be passed through, and that is why we're having somebody come out.
Well,
we don't need to call the fitter.
That sounds
this
illegal.
Is the information straight from.
And the reason why I'm ringing is so I could record and get this information. At the end of the day,
that is their stipulation.
When the application was done,
so I'll put forward for him to come.
It doesn't matter.
For him to come out.
You want us to put an address that he doesn't live at and lie where he doesn't live. Is that correct?
We're not no, what we're advising is, in order for us to hand the account over to them, by their stipulations, those accounts have to match. So that is why we're sending somebody out. We can't hand it over to them because they will not allow us to without
But
the
your sales
addresses
rep said
matching.
this that time. What you're saying now, they won't take it because the address isn't the same. So he changed it, as in the same as the card. He changed it to 6 Ramby Walk. It was originally under 29
Right, so
Saffron because nothing had changed.
it
Remember,
needs
my
to
name's
match.
still on there. I understand, but can you? It's literally, I don't know how to dumb it down for you. It said 29
Right, if you
Saffron
continue to speak to me this way, I'm going to terminate the call and send this to you in
because I've
writing.
been waiting for your call since the 22nd, Joda. The 22nd.
Right,
You're
but I
emailing me
also
on
work for a
holiday.
UK.
You're emailing me on
I
holiday,
also work
telling
for.
me to get in
If
touch,
you
but you
continue
don't
to
come on
talk,
the
right,
phone.
you're going to continue talking over me. I'm going to
Because I'm
terminate the call.
asking
Okay?
you, whose fault is this?
I'm not advising whose fault it
Well,
is.
you've basically
The
said
way
it's
that
the
you're
fitter
talking to me
writing
at
the
the
wrong
moment,
address.
which I don't appreciate it. I
Okay.
understand
How
that
would you like me
we've
to
asked you
speak
to
to you
contact
then? How would
him.
you like me to speak? I'm asking you, when the fitter came and took the
If
details, right? He asked for the name and address, Patrice Camus, 29 Saffron. He didn't change Patrice Camus. He didn't change the contact number. He didn't even change the email address. All he did was get Frank Hall to sign it. So at this point, it said 29 Saffron Gardens, which is exactly what you want. 2 weeks later, I get a call. He has to come back and change it to 6 Ramby Walk because it doesn't match the card. You're now saying it can't be 6 Ramby Walk because it has to match the address. But I'm saying that's the complete opposite of what we was told because initially it was 29 Saffron. But realistically, any finance or credit agreement, when you're filling it out, it asks you to not lie about your income, not lie about your address, and not lie about your employment. So really, you want him to lie and say he lives here. That's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking you because this is crazy.
no, we're not
How many phone
asking him
calls
to
and emails
lie.
when we're doing
If
things
you
right. We've done what we're supposed to
if
do.
you could let me finish speaking, if you, as a liable named person on this account on our system, would like this to be passed over on finance, then the the order itself, because it's under your name, Mrs. Patrice
But it
Camillo,
shouldn't be.
it
It
needs
shouldn't
to
be,
be
should
passed.
it?
It is because
No, but it
you created the
failed.
account.
You've told me it failed.
No, not the finance agreement. Your account with us.
Yeah.
So therefore, the name on this account with us holds liability for the order. The finance agreement has its own liability. If you would like this to be passed over, your order on finance, then we need to be able to adhere to what Navuna is requesting, which is to have the addresses match. At the point of when we do put that through, and if it's a case of that we can move forward with it, it will pass through, no problem. If it's a case of that it fails and it declines, then we can't pass that through.
But what should have happened, if anything, the blind should have been sent to 6 Ramby Walk. Because this is what
No,
I'm trying
because
to explain. It said Saffron.
the property owner to have made an account and place the order themselves under their name for that liability.
And
You
that's what should have
created this
happened on the
account,
day. The man just gave us the
but that
iPad
you,
and got him to sign it instead. But he didn't change
but you've,
none of the information.
you've,
I haven't signed it. My
he
signature's
can't
not on
change.
nothing.
He can't change the information on our account and our system. Once this account is set up under your name, we cannot change any
But it's
information
not
on it.
set up under his name, though, is it? It's set up under mine.
It's
And mine was declined.
exactly.
So
So what
where has
you're
this gone wrong, or
advising
does this
is
happen all the
so
time? It
what
doesn't make sense.
So what you're requesting is that we change the name on this account in-house on our side to the person that's on the finance agreement.
I'm
We
not
can't do
requesting.
that.
That's what
If
should have happened because it's no longer
we
me.
can't do that on our side. That person would have had to then place an order themselves, put the liability on themselves,
So
and have
on
the
the
finance
day,
agreement put
shouldn't the
through as
sales
their
rep have
order.
said, I'm going to have to come back out to you at your address, or we're going to have to redo this and you're a name, or can you fill this out and we'll do the order in your... Because this is what I'm trying to say. He was quick to let him sign under my name and you've accepted that. You're saying to me now, you can't take the blinds back because they've been fitted. Now it's too late. They've been fitted. Yet this was December. What happened January, February, March, April? All that time, no
Like
one's popped up and
I
said,
told you
oh, this is wrong.
before, because we only just received the notification then.
And I've only
So
just
when
heard
we
now
received the
that I need to pay it
notification here in
all.
head office, it's because you've advised that you didn't want to move forward and alter.
I didn't
So
say I
like
didn't
I
want to move
say,
forward.
we
No,
can
I didn't say I want to move
we'd
forward.
advise we
You need
said
to
that
listen
the
to the
soft check
call.
had failed. We
Yeah.
said that the soft check had
And I said,
failed
worst case
and that the
scenario,
balance
I will put the account in my mum's name or someone else as a guarantor because you're saying my credit search has failed. You kept saying the credit search has failed, and I took it as gospel. I was like, okay, okay. But in my head, it didn't make sense. It wasn't until I looked into it and asked Navuna, can you tell me what names you actually use? And they said mine. I said, so what happened to the Franklin Hall application? Oh, yeah, it's here. Well, of course, it's not going to be under my name when the addresses are different and we don't share the same surname because I haven't changed my name yet. We only got married last year. So I'm ringing up
But
Hillary's, unbeknown to me, that you have
backs up
no
more
record of
so.
that. And then the fitter's telling me
That
how I
backs up
gave them
more
your
so that
name.
you've had.
But you shouldn't have given my
That backs
name
up
because
more
I was
so
no
that
longer purchasing the
if you could,
blinds.
if you could let me finish, that backs up more so that if you've got two applications on that side with Navuna, that means one application was submitted, the credit was failed, the soft credit check failed, so then you had to put another one through.
And that's why I said, where does the fault lie then? Because we don't do this for a living. Hillary's does. The salesperson sat here and got the money and got the contract any way he could and left. He told me he's made a mistake, came back, and it was to do with the address, you're right. And he changed it to 6 Ramby Walk, which is the opposite of what you want to do now. I'm saying when he came out, he never mentioned, oh, we have to do a new application or a different address. He just said, oh, try it in, let's try it then. And then once it was signed for, I'm saying it's been months now, months or this has just been up in the air for you to suddenly be like, no, we need the 820 now. Yet we've signed contracts saying this is how it's going to be paid. Because this is the thing. This would never have been a thing. I'm asking Navuna, what's the date? What's the date when the interest comes on? They can't tell me because they said they're waiting for you. They said it's live, but it's not fully completed. Then I'm hearing all of this about the soft church failed, but it couldn't have failed because the blinds are up. How have I got the blinds if it failed? I would never have them. And this is my point all along. So whose fault is all of this? Because I know it ain't
We're
mine.
not advising that anyone's at
Okay,
fault.
so
What we're
when am I
advising to
going to
you is
get
that
an
you can
apology? Because I'm pregnant, I'm spending all my weeks in hospital on fluid drips, ringing you because I'm writing emails, and when I'm on holiday, I'm having to send my boarding pass so you'd freaking leave me alone for a few days. And when I'm ringing, you're telling me you're going to email me, you don't want to come to the phone, and you're asking me I'm speaking in some type of way because
if
it's
you could stop
draining,
speaking to me
it's
like that,
stressful.
what you've
Because
advised,
you've not
what you need to
apologised.
appreciate.
You've not
If
said
I'm not going to
sorry.
apologise to you,
Well, don't
especially if you're
apologise.
going to
But
speak to me
send the
like
man
that.
out, the
If you're
same
going to continue
man,
to
so
speak to me
I can
like
have a
that,
word.
right? I'm going to send this to you writing, and I'm going to send it to you now.
You don't need
Okay?
to send me anything. You need to send the person out.